The wife grabs a key to stop her husband from leaving. Her husband grabs her hand and squeezes hard enough that she cannot let go. Her daughter watches from a nearby vehicle. Minutes later, she is placed under arrest. He is not.
Want to make a couple of things first. I heard you need medical attention or anything like that.
No, I'm just bleeding.
Okay.
And I don't know whether that's on my nose from this or she punched me in the face.
Okay.
I think it's from that.
It's not from your hand, is it? Like your
I think it was because I wiped my face. No, my finger here is cut and then that's cut.
Okay.
I can show you.
Sure.
You want to come around and see where we're at exactly? I just have to have all my work.
That works.
Stuff.
Yeah, I can just follow you back. Who's this in here with you?
What?
Who's this in here with you?
My son and my guy that lives here works for me.
I gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'll follow you back there.
This is the keys.
Okay.
And I helped my son put a Garmin fish finder together. You know what that is?
Sure.
So, we live at 903 Camp Street in Bearwood.
Okay.
And we had just bought this in like end of March, April or something this year. And I don't know, it was Friday, Saturday, or whenever it was. We were sitting at home having a conversation, and like she's a stay-at-home mom, or whatever you want to call it. I own Rabine Concrete and Excavating, and we bought this to build a house and a shop, and clearly, like, I work out of here.
Sure.
And what we were talking about shit at home, like we were not arguing, fighting, nothing, and like she constantly expects me to, like every year I get busy. I do good work, and it goes a long way.
Sure.
Well, we have 6 people, I mean, by the time we get our house and shop bill, like, I'm $1 million literally by this land and everything in debt. Like, she knows what my payment's going to be almost $10,000 with everything a month. Okay. Normal people can't even do a quarter of that.
Sure.
Well, regardless of all that, so we're talking at home, and, I said, when I get home, I said, I always come in here like, hey, what happened today? Would you learn news or, like, talk to you for a split second? And a lot of times it's after dinner, and she's got a plate on the stove for me. And, just rotten attitude. Like, I'll give her a kiss and a hug, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm just gonna eat and take a shower, and I sit by her on the couch, and either if she talks to me, yeah, great, like, we could have a 10-hour conversation.
Okay.
Or if she doesn't talk, I'm not gonna push the button, you know what I mean? Like, I'm right next to you every night. Well, she bitches at me about not doing housework or whatever.
Sure.
Well, I said, I've never refused to help, but if I'm gone working, because I'm supporting 6 of us, like, I can't be there. I'm there for us doing the work, but I can't be here to help you. I said, never, ever have I come home and bitched at you, like, why weren't you at the job site to help me? Like, I don't treat you like that. If I come home, dinner's not made, you're not my slave. Like, why is the laundry done?
We can come back to some of the backstory, but obviously
that was the talk this weekend, whenever.
Okay.
And she, I said something about the work, or she's like, you told me 4 days I was out here cutting wood and cleaning in lumber. I said, we were. I had to pay my son and my worker to help. Like, you could come to land and help. It's not my job. I'm like, your name's on everything. Like, she mows the lawn this summer. Well, granted, we had 74 chickens and 10 ducks and 10 turkeys. I said, there's a little more to just mowing the grass and collecting eggs. Like, I'm not a dick to you, but, like, that green shelter. It started getting cold. She goes, the ducks need a shelter. Okay. I said, well, you and I could build one. Well, that's not my job. All right, well, I guess I have to do it. And then I did it. Well, you could be spending time with, like, dude, man, like,
okay.
I just, like,
let's get to what happened today.
She kept telling me, I don't care. So that was the week. I said, I don't care then. She literally elbowed me on the couch, hit me with pillows. I'm like, knock it off. I put my arm down. She had one of the bigger Yeti cups full of water, sidearm to smoke me in the jaw. That is it. Okay. I am not going to hurt you.
That was in here, or that was
still
over the weekend?
I don't know, Friday or Saturday when that happened. And I called for a peace officer, and she threw that, and then she ran upstairs, and I was on the phone, and I walked in and said, "Yeah, I need a peace officer. Our address." She said, oh my God! I freaked out, took off with her shoes, and didn't even put her shoes on. She ran out in socks to the Yukon. That is mine. Drove away. So the officers showed up. I told them, I don't want her to go to jail. I just want her to go to her mom's. If the kids don't want to leave, because 3 of them are hers and 1's mine, we don't have it together, so the kids don't have to leave.
Okay. Mississauga County Sheriff's Department, need to talk to you about what happened earlier out at the cabin with Jan, okay?
Okay.
Can we come in and talk? Do you want to grab a coat and step out?
My kids are here. I'm going to get a coat.
Okay.
Sunday night, he had called the Bearwood Police Department on me. He was calling my son terrible names and calling us all motherfuckers, that we me to get out, and it made me upset. I got up off the couch and I took my cup and I went like this, not intending to like hit him, but I was just pissed. He told the police that it hit him in the face, which there's no way that that could have even happened. I went to my mom's and I stayed there for a few days. We stayed in a hotel the last 2 nights. So I finally came home today because he told me he was really sorry and didn't want it to be like that. He wanted to fix things. So I was here, or planning on coming here. This morning he told me that he was going to take my Yukon from the hotel so that I couldn't take the kids anywhere, whatever, have fun walking. Wouldn't answer my phone calls, turned his location off, everything like that. I've been trying to get a hold of him all day because this back and forth is not healthy, and I have kids that I need to worry about, and I don't want to be here if he's gonna be like that. So he wasn't answering, and I drove out there to talk to him. We sat in the UTV and he yelled at me the whole time and got out, and then he opened my door and told me to get out because he was done talking. He's got things to do. I said, I want to talk to you. You can't just leave this like this. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have access to our bank account. I don't really have anywhere to go. My mom lives 45 minutes away and the kids go to school here. I grabbed the key out and it was wrapped around my finger, and he took me and grabbed me like this, and he's squeezing my hand, and it was in my hand, so I couldn't let it go because he's squeezing it. I said, please let me go, and I tried to run away. He grabbed me again, and my daughter was watching this in the car. So I tried to run around the UTV, telling him to let me go, and the whole while he's squeezing my hand, so I could not let it go. So finally he did, and I threw it so I could run and get into the Yukon, and then I left.
Okay. Why did you mention grabbing the key in the first place? Why did you do that? Because
I was trying to talk to him, and he was telling me to leave. Because he's got things to do, I need to leave. So I grabbed the key because it was running because he was going to leave.
Okay.
So that's why I grabbed it, because he hasn't talked to me and thinks something needs to be resolved, a plan of some sort, because I don't have access to money. I can't just go stay somewhere.
Okay. So you take the key and then you got out of the UTV?
Yes, he opened the door, I took it, I got out, and I was
Okay.
walking away, and that's when he grabbed me. He chased me and grabbed me.
Okay. Where did you have a place in mind that you were going when
At
you got
that
out of the UTV?
I was just going to get in my car,
How'd you get there?
the Yukon, my vehicle.
Okay. So with this situation, and with you guys being married, and like you said, maybe not a clear history of disturbances, but at least with the law enforcement being contacted a week ago for something involving you two, what happened today constitutes an act of domestic disorderly conduct.
Okay.
In talking with both of you, what we have to do is figure out what actions took this situation from an okay situation, an argument, a disagreement that's okay for a husband and wife to have, and took it over the line to something that's not okay. And in looking at what you told us in both of your statements, there are things that we can't prove, right? You guys both said things that the other one, I guess, there's no evidence of because there's no camera, there is nobody who was watching. We would like to speak with your daughter and talk to her about what she saw. But as it stands, the predominant aggressor of the situation, or the person who took it, I guess, a step further, was you removing the key when he's stating he wants to leave and go about his business, and taking the key, intending to take it into your car with you.
Okay.
So we're going to work with you because there are a number of arrangements that need to be made. However, ultimately, I am going to place you under arrest for one count of domestic disorderly conduct. I understand why that's a big deal.
This man has strangled people before. He has so many violence things, and I'm getting arrested.
My dad has been a police officer for 25 years in the Marines. I come from a family of FBI detectives, firefighters. I don't do things wrong. He has a very violent history.
Okay, my job is not to determine guilt or convict anyone. I can look at the information that's available to me in the hour and a half that I have known anything about either of you and make a decision, okay? So I'm doing the arrest right now. It does not mean you are guilty. You will have your chance to make your case. And like I said, there is an amount of information on both sides that I can't prove. But in the state of Wisconsin, when something like this occurs, somebody has to go to jail. So we'll talk to you more about what it takes to get out, what can happen next, what can happen with your kids. I understand that this is a big deal, but as far as taking you into custody, for now, that may be a relatively temporary thing, because I see that your mom is here, and we'll talk through what it takes to get you out of custody. Okay? Okay.
Yeah. Is that, like, do I have to sit, like, overnight or
Nope.
what?
As soon as
you go through the booking process, it doesn't take terribly long. You get bonded out, and then you're out.
Can I go inside and put it in there?
Yeah.
Try to run her over with a. I just want you to know that there's two sides of the story, and he is.
9124 Stockton.
He's crazy. He's like bipolar, psycho crazy. Like last night, he's telling her how much he loves her and wants to be with her, and then he's doing this over a key. So what's going on?
she's being arrested for one count of domestic disorderly conduct.
Can she press charges against him?
For
It's not a matter of pressing charges.
Whatever
She
this
wanted
is,
to know,
I
you
don't
know,
know. I'm not used to
The
this stuff.
state is forcing us to make an arrest whenever there's a domestic relationship that's been established, i.e. the two of them being married. And if there's a disturbance, which by both their accounts there was some kind of a disturbance, it's our responsibility and duty to determine not who started it, but who was the predominant aggressor. Based on Deputy Hunter's interview with both Jan and Katie, he has determined that Katie was the predominant aggressor in this particular disturbance. We're not making any judgments as far as what's happened in the past. Very well could be the complete other way around, and I'm not here to argue any of that. We're only focused on what has happened, why we got called today. So I'm going to transfer her to the jail. She's got to get booked in. The bond amount is $150. She is eligible to be bonded out as soon as she's done booking. That is something that you could do if
Yes,
you
I'll
wanted
be
to do
waiting
that.
and do it.
So to expedite the process, Deputy Hunter would like to do another interview with the daughter, I believe, because she was present during this interaction. So we want to do a full investigation, which would include talking to her, see what she saw and heard. I will transport Katie to the jail, so that way by the time hopefully when Deputy Hunter is done, she too will be done, and you can get her out, and she doesn't have to spend the night in jail or anything like that.
Okay.
Like I said, the bond amount is going to be $150. There'll be a little ATM machine inside of our LEC lobby. Do you know where the LEC is?
No, I'm not. I'm not from Bearview, and I'm not familiar with how this works. I'm
Okay.
very tired of it.
Understandable. So it's behind the Dairy Queen off 136.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We're just the back side of that.
Sure.
We'll go down Sauk Ave and come up Lane Court. He can give you directions if need be after we depart. So
Dodge 9112.
that's what's happening today.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not making any judgment
From
calls as
Columbia
to what
County
may or
line
may not
unit,
happen in
full
the
20
past.
minutes.
Okay.
Copy hold, I'll be heading there right now.
And as we explained to her, this isn't Deputy Hunter wanting or desiring to make an arrest necessarily, but he is bound by state law to make an arrest by the state. I know that doesn't make anybody feel better, but we get some understanding as to why we're doing what we're doing.
I'll be there as soon as. When am I going to know that I can come?
So you can use my cards or whatever to get. Love you guys.
I'm not going to handcuff you in front of your house, so we're just going to walk over to my car.
Do I have to be handcuffed?
Unfortunately, that's policy. That's not a me thing. That's a policy thing. Okay. So we're gonna go over there.
Is the law protecting domestic violence victims or producing them? This case puts Wisconsin mandatory arrest law under a lens, and the answer is more complicated than either side wants to admit. Wisconsin Statute 968.C25 removes officer discretion at the scene of a domestic incident when a domestic relationship is confirmed and a disturbance occurs. Law enforcement is required to arrest the predominant aggressor, not necessarily the first person to act. The predominant aggressor. Those two are not always the same person. The statute requires evaluation of 5 specific factors: the likelihood of future injury to each party, the prior history of domestic abuse between them, whether either party acted in self-defense, the relative severity of injuries sustained, and whether either party made threats placing the other in reasonable fear of physical harm. Multivitamin instance. The predominant aggressor determination rested on a single act, removing a running vehicle key. The stated reasoning on camera does not reflect a documented 5-factor analysis under the statute. One factor does not constitute the full statutory test. The husband physically grabbed the wife's hand and squeezed it with enough force to prevent her releasing an object. He then chased and grabbed her a second time. Under Wisconsin Statute 940.19, intentionally causing physical pain to another person constitutes battery. That conduct was not identified on camera as a competing act requiring parallel legal analysis. Wisconsin Statute 968.C25 explicitly lists prior domestic abuse history between the parties as a mandatory factor. The subject alleged prior strangulation and an ongoing pattern of violence. The responding officer acknowledged those allegations, then characterized them as outside scope of that day's investigation. Under the plain text of the statute, prior history is not background information. It is a required element of the determination. Lesson 1. In mandatory arrest jurisdictions, any physical act in a domestic setting can provide probable cause for arrest, regardless of intent. This is not legal advice. It is the operational reality of how these statutes are applied at the scene level. Lesson 2. The predominant aggressor determination is only as thorough as the investigation that produces it. Undocumented injuries, unexamined prior history, and witness accounts not yet taken are gaps that courts will later have to fill without the benefit of the original evidence. The question this footage leaves open is not whether the arrest was legal. Under Wisconsin 968.C25, it was. The question is whether the correct person was identified as the predominant aggressor under the full 5-factor framework the statute requires. In a household where one party controls all income, all vehicles, and all financial access, and the other has nowhere to go and no money to leave, who under the statute is truly the predominant aggressor? The court will decide. But will the record give it enough to decide correctly?